Hi, Adam here, and welcome to this week's Virtual Regatta Top Tips. This week we're going to look into the question I've been asking myself for a number of weeks now, which is, can Virtual Regatta and eSailing actually help our sailing in real life? Having thought about this, the quick answer is 100% yes, I believe it can. And today we're going to look in a little bit more detail around how we can use that on starting an upwind. So how can Virtual Regatta help our starting an upwind in real life? So let's join a race here. We're going to go for the star class today. One thing that a lot of us that have got into eSailing over lockdown will have experienced is a lot of race starts. More than we probably do in an entire season at club sailing. So that's one thing straight away, is the amount of starts we can do is just way and above what we can do in real life. So that's good practice in itself. It also helps emphasize some of those processes that we need to go through on a start line. So when we get close to the start, I'm going to check the bias on the line. On eSailing, I'm just going to sail close to the wind and see which end of the line I'm coming off best. There's various different methods in real life, but no, all of it's leading to the same thing, which is making sure you've decided which end of the line is the bias line prior to the start. So that's one of the first things I do. I'm also trying to look at the wind on the course. Virtual Regatta's giving us loads of helps, like the flags in the top, the wind indicators in the top left corner, which currently are telling me that there's a starboard lift on the course. So that's also affecting my thought process. And although we don't get those wind indicators in real life, you've got a burgee on the top of your sail, and you can practice before the start as well. So put that theory into practice in real life as well. So I've decided here it's fairly even line, but possibly slightly starboard biased. However, it's not too bad, so I'm going to start starboard to midline. There's then other processes we now need to think which relate to real life as well. So you're positioning on a start line. So now I've got a boat ahead of me and I've got to decide, do I want to be above it or below it? And I'm going to go below here just because I've seen there's space to leeward, so I can bear away, accelerate and get the maximum speed off the line. So that's a thought process I had to go through prior to this start to get good pace off the line and go for it. And it relates to real life, because you need to make those decisions on the race course when you're queuing up for a start line, where you position your boat there. So coming off the line now, straight away, most boats there have got a decent start. Mine isn't ideal, but it's all right. But I've had a look around and I'm now tacking off because I don't want to get pinned out to the left-hand side of the course. And again, that's a decision similar to what I should be thinking about and making on the water. Do I want to stay on this tack? Do I want to get forced over to the left, or do I want to tack out and make my own decisions? Now I've gone here, most of the fleet are going left, so I'm going to tack across to protect my position. And tack across with the rest of the fleet now I've crossed them. Again, that would be a smart move in real life, never mind on Virtual Regatta, and I'm just always thinking about my boat position relative to the other boats on the water going on this upwind leg, and always looking out around seeing what's going on. And that's something we need to do again in real life, which is keep our head not just focused in the boat but out of the boat, see what's going on, see how we're positioning our boat. So now I've tacked. Another reason for that was I didn't want to get forced past the ley line because of the other boats coming across. So I've tacked before the ley line. Now I can take advantage of boats that have overstood, and I'm not in any dirty air, bad wind that's affecting my angle and my approach to the mark. So again, that's another thing you need to be thinking about as you're approaching ley lines in real life. Do you want to sail to the ley line? Are other boats going to affect your approach? Or do you want to tack in a bit early before the ley line and take advantage of any mistakes by boats that have sailed too far? So again, a really important thing that we think about on the game, but it's useful to think about this in real life as well. And as you'll see here, constantly I'm just screening around looking around on the screen, just seeing what's going on. Again, keeping my head out of the boat so I know what's going on the race course. And again, just really important in the Virtual Regatta, but in real life as well. So I've tacked here on the ley line, slightly above it, just to take into account any wind shifts. Coming in now, being aware that the boat below me has tacked below the ley line, so just trying to not make contact with him there. So again, another smart decision there on tacking on the ley line. And again, something we need to think about on the water. Do you want to tack if you've got tide, if you've got wind? Where do you want to tack? Do you want to sail half a boat length past the ley line? It's probably a good thing to do. So again, putting things that I do on the water here I'd be doing on the water in real life. And although I know most of these things from my own experience sailing, this game is proving really useful into recapping and reminding me the thought process I need to do on the water. So, coming to the second upwind leg here, I've split tacks with the leader. We're going to talk about that a bit more next week on downwind and mark rounding. But now coming up this next bit, I've split tacks from the leader to try and take advantage, try and see if I can make any gains. But I'm also looking at the rest of the fleet, and I'm the only boat coming out this way. So I am going to go low risk because I'm in a relatively good position and tack across and protect my position. However, fortunately, I have been able to split from the leader. So I'm kind of attacking the leader here, but defending on the rest of the fleet. And I'm looking around just to monitor them. And again, this is something you think about on a race course all the time, is where your boat needs to be in relation to the boats ahead of you and behind. So I have made a little bit of a gain up there. He's decided not to cover me, carry on, and I've just been able to split from him again. So taking advantage of that. And I've tacked right on the ley line. I don't mind that I'm a smidgen over in these boats because it just means I can bear off slightly and accelerate and come in with good pace to this mark. But no, that second upwind leg, I was thinking twofold. I was thinking about how I could attack this boat ahead and get close to him, ready for the downwind leg. And also protecting my position on the boats behind me. So staying in between the next mark and the rest of the fleet, which is what I feel I did quite nicely there by tacking over with the rest of the fleet that were heading out to the left-hand course. And now that leaves me in a good position to attack on this downwind leg and see if I can make a move going into the finish. So, just to recap there, I think the first question I was asking was, can virtual regatta improve my sailing in real life? 100% yes. All the thought processes I went through on that start then and those upwind legs would apply in real life. And having sailed for a number of years, I kind of already knew that I should be doing that, but this game has really prompted my thought process, allowed me to practice it, and since I've been back to boating following lockdown, I've actually been thinking about my boat position a lot more, and it's kind of reignited some of those thoughts in my head. So on a start line, what's important? Working out the bias of the line, also working out the angle of the wind, which is the favoured tack coming off the line. That's relevant in the game, relevant in real life. Also, what's important on the start line is getting clear air off that line. So do you want to be just to windward of a boat? Do you want to be to leeward with pace? So thinking about how you can position your boat on a start line to be at the gun, going fast on the line without any dirty wind affecting you. So again, relevant in the game, relevant in real life. Then moving on to the upwind leg, a lot of that is transferable. So thinking about wind shifts, when you should tack, looking around and keeping an eye on the rest of the fleet and sort of fleet management, as well as trying to keep your air clean and sail on the favoured tacks all the time. So lots to think about, lots to consider there. But definitely I think that playing this game is prompting some thoughts and making me think about the way I sail my boat on the water, which I 100% think is going to help me when I'm back in a race situation. It's not necessarily going to make my boat go any faster, but I think I'm now going to be thinking about positioning it and getting it in a better position. So thanks for listening this week. Next week we're going to talk about the same topic, but related to downwind and mark rounding. So I hope you've enjoyed the content today. If you do, please like and subscribe to the Facebook page and YouTube channels, and please comment on the video if you've got any thoughts for yourself. So thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers everyone.